That is fantastic. What is that, you ask? Well, that is the other half of the hotel I'm staying at. I am at the Fairmont. That is the Raffles. You might have seen this building. It's the big horseshoe shape, and it is spectacular. It's a lovely, lovely place to be, and that's the view out past that. That's the, what is that, the Gulf? The Arabian Gulf, and I apologise because I am a bit dark on here, but you get the picture. And there's an aircraft flying over. We're not too far from the airport here on what is a glorious day. Now I'm in the sun, now you can see me, but I can't read your comments. But in answer to my question posed on this video, can Lando win? Actually, let's bring this up here. Can Lando win the championship? Will he win the championship this weekend? No, I don't think he'll win the championship this weekend. And I can't get that straight, or can I? Yes, I can. And I'll tell you why. Because I think Max Verstappen will outscore Lando in points. I don't think Oscar will. Oscar is struggling at present, either because of his own form or because of something the team's doing, which a lot of you seem to think. I don't think that's the case, but anyway, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. So Max will be the real danger. And I think he could claw back a couple of points on Lando this weekend. And if that happens, we go down to the wire, of course, in Abu Dhabi. I go there on Tuesday. And I can tell you that my 149-kilometre flight from Doha to Abu Dhabi is the most expensive flight per minute in the air of any flight that I will take this year. It is so crazy expensive. And I understand why, because there aren't that many flights and everybody wants to go on Monday and Tuesday to Abu Dhabi. Anyway, we just have to wear that fact that it is going to be expensive, but we will be seeing what I think will be a fantastic race. Now, I was going to get a pen and paper to make some notes because I have to do a video later today. Wasn't enough that happened yesterday at the track, so I was a bit short for content. Unlike Vegas, where, my gosh, Vegas was an amazing race for social media content, for YouTube videos. We should be that lucky with every single race. How many of you on here now? 178. Let me give you a little pan around here, show you what I'm looking at there. That's the lovely, well, I'm in Lusail at the moment, but over, where is it? Over there, some very nice hotels, including the Waldorf Astoria, where I went for a function last night, opening party for the race weekend, and it was excellent. And yes, I did get, well, we got two thobes. Jason and I both got a thobe. That's the long white outfit that they wear. And not only did we get one, we had it custom tailored for us. At 11 a.m. they took our measurements over at the Waldorf Astoria. This is the locals from one of the government departments involved in the race. And they just said, well, we need to get you one of these thobes, Kim. And I said, well, I would love one. I'm just trying to position this microphone here somewhere. And they said, well, Jace, would you like one too? Yes. So we both got measured up, and the thobes were delivered back to our room at 9:15 p.m. So less than 12 hours from zero. And in fact, you just stand and look at that view for a second. I'll bring out one of them, because they are incredibly impressive garments. We were going to wear them last night, but for the fact that you could see our underwear through them, and we need to have an undergarment. But it has 3 pockets. It's the most gorgeous material. Here it is, look at that. And it is my height, sits perfectly on the top of my shoes. It's got the most gorgeous collar, so stiff. And it is a beautiful, beautiful piece of tailoring, and not something that I expected to be gifted in less than 12 hours. So thank you very much to those folk that organised that for both of us. And today we're receiving the headwear and the scarf that goes, oh no, that's part of the headwear. Not that we'll have any idea how to fashion or style it, but it will be impressive. Then we have to work out where we're going to wear it. Maybe I'll wear it going into the track one day and get some looks and comments from my colleagues there. Now what I'll do is come a bit closer to you. In fact, just bear with me a sec, I'll move the camera. I can't even see those comments, it's so bright. Just going to have to wear the fact that I'm going to be a bit dark, people, but I will then be able to see your comments and answer them. And Super Chats, by the way, go to the head of the queue, and I'll say it again, this over here is the Raffles Hotel, which is a step up from this side of the hotel, which is that big horseshoe that you've seen. This is the Raffles that I'm standing on right now. Now, some of your comments. No, I'm not employed by F1. I am merely a freelancer, and I have accreditation to go to all the races. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay, that's an American thing that's not big in, well, not at all in Australia. Is it anywhere else or just the US? I'm just getting ready to go to the circuit. There's no meet and greets this weekend. There's too much on, I'm afraid. And there is no real easy to get to spot to hold one at the track. Yes, they are lovely to wear. We put it on last night for the photos out in our hallway here. And I know that I'm dark, but I can't do anything about that because my light above here is nowhere near strong enough unless I bring it right up next to my face. And that would look stupid. Yeah, will we see a Drivers' Champion crowned? Yes, Abu Dhabi, I believe. That's what my money's on. Of course, Lando only has to end up 26 points clear of Max or Oscar, well, the second place driver, in order to be crowned this weekend. And that will be an epic celebration. So I think, well, I know that all the pressure is on Lando. There is no pressure on Max. There's none on Oscar. They're not expected to win. Lando is expected to win and should win. But if he makes a mistake and has a DNF in the race, phew, what would that do? That would make the last race something special, wouldn't it? But look, I think he's on song at the moment, Lando. Going well. Unlikely to make a mistake. Somebody else could make a mistake and take him out. Yes, tis possible. Anything could happen. It will be fantastic. Do you like the Qatar track? No, I don't like it. Photographically, I'm selfish in that respect. I would love to have Las Vegas style photo opportunities, but we don't get it here. Most of the back section of the track, if you go from the front straight and go towards the back, the last half, there's just lights on track. There's no features that you can really incorporate into it. So it makes it a bit trickier. No backdrops, that's right. It's stuck out in just in the sand, out in the middle of nowhere. There are no redeeming features around it. There are no landmarks, Eiffel Towers. There are no glamorous hotels like we have in Vegas. And no bright neon lighting. I have no idea what type of driving this track favours. I'm not at all au fait with stuff about cars and racing. Ask me about people, ask me about trainers, yeah, drivers, yep, no problem at all. And yes, these bucket hats are on sale at the moment. BF20, Black Friday 20 is the 20% off code at the Kim Elman shop. Go to the shop at kimelman.com and you can get 20% off a whole host of stuff. And our best of books are being worked on as we speak now, and they will be ready on the Monday after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Available to order, and if you order that day, and it probably needs to be in the morning Australian time, maybe in the afternoon, I don't know, but let's say the morning Australian time, you can have your book dispatched if you pick priority shipping and get it by Christmas. All custom printed. You can pick the front cover. No one else offers you that. A book with photos from all races, custom printed, choice of covers, delivered by Christmas. And that's why they've been so popular this year and every year. In fact, they've only started doing that big book. When was that? Last year? And it's gone very well. It is a beautiful piece of publishing. I'm very thankful to the printer that we found them, because not many people can do that. Qatar is a MotoGP track, yes. You reckon there's zero overtaking? Okay. So quali this afternoon for the sprint race will be exciting. And then of course we have the sprint race tomorrow afternoon, not evening. So we get it at sunset. There'll be the first couple of laps will have beautiful orange sky. So that might be a photo opportunity for us. And then we have qualifying tomorrow night under lights at 8 or 9 p.m, can't remember. You'll know better than me. Are the books dispatched from Australia? No, they're sent directly from the printer in Asia. There's another jet. That's a Qatar Airways jet. Got a video coming up too about my flight here and this hotel. I think you'll find it most interesting. What happened yesterday at Media Day? Very dull. I've never come across a quieter Media Day. It was awful. There was hardly anything going on. It can't get me any brighter. Sorry, guys. Who do I want to win? I don't care who wins. Quite frankly, I like it. I liked it when Lando was behind and he caught up. I was rooting for Lando to catch up to Oscar. And now that Lando's in front, I want Max and Oscar to catch up. I want this to go down to the last race. I think it's great for social media. I think it's great for excitement in the sport. And certainly F1 is lapping this up. It's a great season. Oh yeah, quiet day yesterday. A couple of interviews out in the paddock, but it was very laid back. In fact, I've never spent so much time standing around talking to people. A couple of rumours yesterday, and I can't tell you one. Involves an Aston Martin driver, but if in a couple of weeks you see a big announcement, you'll know that it was rumoured here in the paddock. Who's filling the second Red Bull seat? Well, we don't know. I think it'll be announced after Abu Dhabi. Probably before they do the rookie testing on the Tuesday. So maybe Monday we'll get an announcement. And I'll be at rookie testing for the Tuesday, which should be good. Now, I did hear a little bit about the testing for teams in Barcelona pre-season. It's not open to the media. Each team will be allowed, I think, 2 photographers, probably 1 photographer to shoot outside the garage and the other one to shoot inside. Certainly, the cars will only run 3 of the 5 days of testing. And the photographers can't go on track, I understand. They can only shoot from pit wall. It's a bit unusual. It's going to be interesting because we'll get an idea then. Not a real good idea, but some sort of an idea about how quick they are. But they're not going to be playing their hand in that very first testing session. It won't be until Melbourne qualifying day that we'll get a real understanding of who's quick. But I did hear that the teams may struggle to actually get the cars to go full race distance. They might have to be coasting and relying on battery power, and I don't know enough about the technical side of things, but it sounded to me like it's going to be a bit of a grind to start. Do you think Iwasa will replace Lawson after winning the Japanese Super? No, I don't think that. Do you think Alonso retiring and Hadjar taking that seat then? I don't think that. Your thoughts on the Red Bull seats? I've done a video on that, and I thought that Yuki would retain the seat at Red Bull and Lawson would dip out for Arvid Lindblad. Now, I haven't had a bet on that. I'm not 100% sure, obviously, but that's what I said in my video. I haven't heard anything contrary to that would make me think that there is anything about that. I did hear that Christian Horner was spotted being given a clandestine tour of the Aston Martin facility, but he does not want to be team principal. Adrian Newey's got that gig. It was a huge surprise, as if that man has not got enough on his plate that he's now taking over team principal role. Yeah, I don't know what to think of that, and I didn't get any clues from anybody else yesterday. Good morning to all of you who are waking up this morning, and good evening to those heading to bed. Look at this view out here. This is the Arabian Gulf. Ooh, isn't that nice? And that's the Raffles Hotel there. And over here behind this screen is this very interesting area full of all food trucks. And it's on a very big section of the of this jutty out bit, which I think is man-made. And it's quite interesting. I might go over there tonight, time pending, and give you a little tour around. But there's a place called In-N-Outy, which they've just completely ripped off In-N-Out Burger's logo. And I gather they sell hamburgers. But I'll be going tonight, touch wood, and show you around that. If you want to get your comment definitely seen, head to Super Chat. and click on that. 574 of you. Now, could you all please hit that like button? 574 of you. I reckon we can get to 600 easily if you all hit that like button straight away. While you're doing that, I'll step out of the shot so that you can concentrate on that like button, please, and hit that like. I reckon we can get that straight up to 200 with the first plea, and subsequently up to 600 if you'd all hit that like button. Thank you in advance. Look at that, straight away, 60 of you acquiesced to my request. Merci beaucoup. There's an island out there too, look at that. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Some boats. Yes, could you please hit that like button? Thank you to those of you who acquiesced or did it. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you to 24 Jake. Sir Ilman, the king should knight you. Yes. Whom would you say gets closest to the barriers lap after lap? I don't know. I don't sit there and take any notes. And the place to note that would be in Monaco, perhaps Baku on that exit of the corner running downhill before the last left-hander that runs up the straight. Do you miss shooting the AFL? I've never shot the AFL. I don't even miss going to the AFL. I haven't watched a game in ages. Put my thobe on. No, I'm not going to put it on now. It's tricky to put on, and I'm getting my head stuff later on, the black thing that goes around and the lovely white scarf, I guess that is. Is it hot? No, it is bloody glorious. 26 during the day, chilly at night. Not cold, but chilly. There's a bit of a... In fact, no, last night it was just perfect, maybe 19 degrees. And this morning there's a bit of a breeze up here, but I'm still in t-shirt and shorts. Oh, you can't, yes you can. So that's what we got. And I'm wearing a radio mic so I can move around and you can still hear me. And I will again apologise for me, excuse me, being dark, unless I have this light like right up there. It's as bright as I can get. But still, nice shorts. Yeah, they're swimmers. Very colourful. And get this, Prix, my son's girlfriend, bought them for me and they were 15 Aussie. That's about 10 US. That's a bargain. Rightio. How's the new hotel? It's glorious. There's something special inside here. Although I won't give you a tour because it's so messy. We have been less than diligent in keeping the place tidy. And my wife would be disgusted with the mess. What time of the day? 8:30. Can you see that? 8:30 a.m. And the sun is up, and the sunsets are always golden. They start off red, dark red, and then they get golden, then they get light yellow, and then they become white. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Have you been to Souk? No, we have not been there. I've been pretty much here, that glorious shopping centre, which is based on an old French building with fountains, huge. What's the other hotel? Went there last night for that party. Waldorf Astoria. Caught up with some of the security boys for the drivers. Had a chat with them on Wednesday. But yeah, we're really enjoying this. It's a pretty cushy atmosphere so far. Kim, when is Oscar going to get some mongrel about him? I don't know. Have you put that to him? Ask him. He is the man that needs to be answering that question. I don't think, change the exposure on this once we get going. Even, I don't think beforehand. The camera decides what exposure and it likes the building behind me. Say something in Punjab. No. Hello from Dubai. What's your tip for the championship? I mentioned it earlier on, another Qatar Airways plane. I think we are going to see Lando Norris. Well, it's all for Lando to win. Oh, somebody's thrown in a super chat. Let me come back to this. Nice to meet you and get a fist bump at the Forum at Caesars in Vegas. It was a hell of a weekend. Yeah, very expensive Las Vegas, but still, it was a success. Have you seen that? I've seen a couple of videos where American influencers get online. They say, all that mess for 1.5 million views. What a waste of time. And all they're talking about is the 1.5 million watching in the US on ESPN. That's not the market. The market is the world, and it's something like, was it 58 million people watching? So thankfully a number of in-the-know people clarified the situation, that you should not be measuring the inconvenience to Las Vegas based on the number of people in the US that watch it. The US knows Vegas. Those outside the country have less of an idea, and that's the market that the Las Vegas tourism people wanted to attract and get the attention of, and indeed they did that, because it was a huge race weekend in the end. They sold out. There was some talk it was going to be a flop. Nope, sell out come Sunday. And everyone I spoke to loved it. Yeah, they would have liked a few more overtakes, something a bit more exciting, but there's Formula One. They love the whole experience. And up front, it was a great event to be at. Late nights, not as late as the first year, of course, when we started the race at midnight and didn't finish until about 3:30. But even then, like my night, I was ready to go a few minutes before we got that announcement that the drivers and the team representative had been called to the stewards to discuss the wear on the skid planks underneath. So I finished my editing, and about, I can't even remember what time, 10:30? Maybe 10:30, went down there and started hanging around outside the McLaren hospitality suite, and I was the only photographer there. Everyone else had gone. Let me just interrupt this story with Spartan or Spaten. Have you ever been to Nashville? Yes. I went there for a NASCAR race. I went down and had a look at that main street full of Bucks nights and hens do's. Yeah, it was an interesting atmosphere. But getting back to me hanging around, there was about 20 journalists, and that number diminished as time wore on. And we were just waiting for the guys to come back from the steward's inquiry, and it was eventually, I think about 1:40 a.m., I could be wrong, but thereabouts, that Andrea Stella and Luca Colliani, who is the PR man for the team, came back. Andrea just walked straight into the media hospitality suite, said nothing, and he'd actually postponed his press conference, saying that, right, we've got to go sort this out, but we'll do it afterwards. Well, he didn't do it afterwards. And Luca was left to front the media saying, right, we're not going to make a statement until the FIA puts out their statement. So I left and went back to the hotel, and at 2:05 I started recording my video, having seen the announcement from the FIA. Recorded all my video, and about 10 to 3 I finished, and then I saw this email come through from McLaren with their statement, so I added another 40 seconds onto that video, sent it off to be edited, and then I went to bed. Woke up in the morning and posted that video. Had 280,000 views. Wasn't my biggest one over the weekend. We had two of them over 300,000. And if you know anything about YouTube, that's a good result for my channel, and good revenue. Do you think the Mad Ring circuit will be ready? Well, I'm reading the same things you're reading, and there seems to be some doubt, according to an Italian publication. They're noisy. I did hope to catch up with a couple of people yesterday in the paddock, but I didn't see them. I think if I lived in Europe, I'd be going to Madrid, and I'd be going out and taking some vision, perhaps drone vision of it, and then speaking to a construction person and saying, hey, are they progressed enough? Is this going to be a drama? But I can tell you what I have done. I booked my accommodation for Imola that weekend as a safeguard. I've had a side bet on Imola for that weekend, which is 13 September, second weekend of September. Someone's been watching DG Drive. I've been watching DG Drive the R47 around Adelaide. Who's DG? Not DC, is it? 8:37 a.m. Yeah, thereabouts. Sandblast E77. Yes, indeed. Kim does work hard for Just Not Photography, but yes, we are crazy hours. I never stop. And I had to laugh when people say on my videos about travel, they say, "Oh, you're just showing off. You're always traveling business." Yeah, because I work my ass off, and I'm not just working my ass off to put the money in the bank. I'm investing it back in me, and that is arriving at this venue. When did I get here? Tuesday, and I was refreshed because I came the most direct route. Yeah, it was the most expensive. I went business class. I slept for 7 hours. So yeah, I land here and I'm ready to go. Yeah, I'll probably conk out a bit earlier than normal at night, but yeah, I spend the money on the travel. And then I share it with you. And that last video I did about Aeromexico, which I really rate as an airline, I've been very impressed. That one's done 50,000 in a day and a bit, which is, yeah, it's not great views, but really my audience is not a travel audience. And we are very close, I think, to splitting the audiences next year, doing a travel channel and a separate F1 channel so that we don't, not poison each other's content, but we keep them specific. Then I can do more travel. Do you ever put things inside of yourself? I put a lot of food, as you've probably seen here. Too much food. And it's good food too. Hitch a flight with Max. I don't think Max wants me on his aircraft. Why hasn't Daniel Ricciardo made an appearance in the paddock? He's not interested. I think he's still scorched by the events of last year. I did have a chat with his manager last race, Nick. It was a good chat, and he said, "Oh, I showed Daniel your video on Shante, and he was very impressed." So that's nice. So Daniel, Nick, I'm very keen to catch up and have a chat, perhaps at the York property, Chittering Valley in Perth. Yeah, let's do that. You can put his side of the story across. It won't be an in-depth interview. It'll be a nice, loose chat. But yeah, I know Daniel to talk to. He's not far away from where I live. There you go. Now, it says Skull Crusher, watching you since 2019. Thank you for your Indian rupees. It's always a pleasure talking to you, wherever you are around this world. And if you are at this point of the world at the moment, you'd be enjoying a very pleasant morning, probably about 18 degrees in the shade, 21 in the sun. And that's my view. That's a very nice hotel over there. That's a better hotel than the Fairmont. I gather it's better because it's more money. And if I go back here and stand in the sun, suddenly I'm at the same brightness as that building there, but I can't read your comments. So any comment now is wasted. But there is a pontoon down here for pulling your boat up to that is in the exact same shape as this remarkable hotel, which I have seen some shots from the track where they take the helicopter shot and in the background you can see it. And it's a lovely, lovely place. Easy coming in through customs, very quick. And here in this airport, if you fly business class, you get to go through a separate immigration area, which is much quicker. There's refreshments. It's like an arrivals lounge with your own immigration counter. And I don't think there is any other hotel and airport in the world that offers that sort of thing. Any snorkeling? No. Are you planning to take another hoodie from Valtteri? Well, he offered it, didn't he? I didn't take it from him. I was glad to accept it. My wife was tickled pink. It is night time for me, and it's fun seeing someone live on the other side of the world during daytime, and vice versa. Please do a meetup in Abu Dhabi. I doubt very much whether my schedule will allow that. I think it's going to be a full-on event for me, photographic-wise, and there is no close place to do a meet and greet there. Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. But anyway, best credit card for travel, Bank West MasterCard. There's no 3% fee, foreign transaction fee, which is a bloody scam. 679 of you tuning in now to hear whether or not Lando will win the race in the championship in Qatar. No, he won't. unless he ends up 26 points clear of his next rival. So that being Max or Oscar. And I don't think he will. I think Max will do better than Lando this weekend, and there'll be a reduction in Lando's lead. I'm not sure Oscar can take anything out of Lando this race. Of course, my opinion's equally as apt as yours, but that's my thinking on the thing now. Says, and what does that say? And Reggio, or Andre Trego. We love the travel stuff. F1 and travel are inseparable. Don't separate the channels, Jace. Take note of this comment here, not to separate the channels. We go backwards straight away on the travel because we'd lose a lot of our audience. We'd have to spend time building that up. Anyway, who knows? Will Horner be TP? No. Christian does not want a team principal role. He wants a far greater say. He wants ownership. He wants CEO, not team principal. I'm 69. I remember fuel, fires, shorts, drivers that were crazy to drive. Yeah, there's a lot that's happened in this sport. It's a lot safer now. It's different, isn't it? Cars are much bigger, ridiculously oversized, some would say. But that's going to change a little bit next year, isn't it? Bro wants to be Toto so bad. Or he wants a share in a team. I think he'll get it too. He's got, look, I'd invest in him. In fact, I've contacted him through his people to say, if you're starting a syndicate, I've got my hand up. I think he's a good operator. He knows what he's doing. He's had a rough trot over the last couple of years, but yeah, I think business-wise, he's pretty savvy. Would you like Oscar to leave McLaren? I don't care what Oscar does. He can do whatever he thinks is best for his future. And I'm sure that's what Mark Webber is doing now. And yes, you can buy these hats. They're 20% off if you go to the shop at kimellman.com right now. I think it's still going. BF20 is the promo code. Pink and blue. I like the pink one. I think it's out there. Can you make a purple hat? Unsure. Perhaps next year. Did I watch the F1 the movie? Yes, I did. I've watched it a couple of times. Seen myself in it. What am I? 1 hour and 8 minutes and 58 seconds, I think, from memory. I'm using my phone for this live stream and a radio mic plugged into, oh, this is the Rode radio mic there. They're okay. And there's a receiver plugged into the phone. But it's tricky, you've got to have the right jacks. You should buy this one for sure. Get on there and save a few dollars. What's my favourite cuisine? Italian. Gosh, I had the best pasta ever last night. Went to a function at the Waldorf Astoria. My God, it was amazing. What was Jandool? Jandool? I think that was the mob that was doing the catering. It was unbelievable. Creamy sauce, caviar on top, not overpowering on the caviar. But they had these little small bowls about that size, so we just kept grabbing them as they came around. And yes, there was alcohol at that function. This is well, it's not a dry country, but you cannot bring alcohol in, and you can't buy it coming in duty free. Says, this is a super chat, Zamaro. It's your anniversary today. Wife Miranda would love a shout out. Miranda, you're a lucky woman. I got remarried in Vegas. You might have seen on my video with the Elvis. Gosh, it was good. It was really, really lovely, and full marks to the people that put that on. When Elvis is singing to you there, and he's less than a metre away, it's fantastic. Yeah, that pasta last night, well done to them. Yes, going back to alcohol, you can get alcohol here in the bars. It's not cheap, but then again, it's probably on par with Vegas pricing, which is crazy over the top. And I did a bit in my video where I said, you can get a 1 3/4 litre bottle of Southern Comfort plus 2 cans of Coke for about, with taxes, $26 US. You would get a double Southern Comfort in a pub, in other words 90 mil, not 1.75 mils, in a restaurant or a bar there with Coke. So 90 compared with 1.75. Yes, I know you're in a venue where you've got social things and there's a whole lot of cost, but in Australia you won't be paying anything like that in bars, and the cost of the alcohol is way more, so there's a far smaller difference between the cost of the product and the sale price. But Vegas is not known for being cheap, and if you're looking for cheap, you will not be going there. If you're looking for crazy way out stuff, that's the place. Now, Ghost Stomper, Max for the win, thanks for the content. 'Tis a pleasure. Thanks for joining in on this glorious day in Doha. Talking to you from high up the Raffles Hotel. I'll show you this because you deserve to have a look around since you've been so tolerant and quiet. Look down there, that is the pontoon to moor your boat. It's in exactly the same shape as this hotel. I hope I've got that focused okay. And if we go over here, we can see an amusement park, and that curve of establishments on the water there are all high-end restaurants, and they are gorgeous. And a couple of them have well, at least two, because I've dined at two, that have underfloor air conditioning out on the deck. So you're sitting out there, I gather in summer at 50 degrees, and this aircon's coming up your trouser legs. And if you go down to there, all those colourful little things are food trucks and small food outlets, which I will go to tonight because it looks a bit tacky in the day. But you drive your car around there, stop and park, get in, get out, grab your food, and it's really quite amazing. I've never seen that sort of saturation of food trucks in such a small area. The track itself is straight ahead. It's a 22-minute drive on a 6-lane freeway, 6 lanes each way. It's a very quick trip until you get to the exit, and then sometimes there's a couple of minute delay turning left. But around the track, nothing but sand and a couple of nice buildings. But you do pass a few of the football stadiums on the way out there, and they are top level. Over there is the Raffles Hotel, which has bigger rooms than this. I'm in quite a big room, but they're bigger, and they've all got little couches out the front there. This is the room next to me. Look at that balcony there. That is huge. There must be some super suite in there. And if I tilt back, you can see up the top there. And that is an impressive building. It's only a couple of years old. And I really wanted to review this hotel because I'd seen it and I'd seen some other reviews of it, and it stacked up pretty well. And I'm delighted that they decided to not move me, because they said, no, we're going to move you to another hotel. It was a nice hotel, but it wasn't this. And it was a bit further from the track. So I'm much happier here. A few boats down there in the harbour. Nothing huge, not as big as, say, the stuff that we'd see in the Abu Dhabi marina. And some nice gardens down the bottom. And the airport, you can hear planes coming and going. So there you go, there's a little tour for you of what you could see if you were standing here next to me. I'm in the shade now, that's why I'm a bit darker. Let's go back to some of your comments. Did I miss any super chats? Yes, a couple. And thank you for assisting me. Gosh, Terry Robertson. Terry from the US, from Kansas, where Dorothy was, wasn't she? Good to see you, Terry. Thank you for chiming in. Right, that was the first one I missed. Now the second one. Excuse me for scrolling. Jace has gone down to the gym, which is 100 metres wide. Is that right, 100 metres? Maybe 100 feet. It's big. Tell something about weed smoke and driver. I did that in my video. I'll come back to that. Great seeing you in Vegas last weekend. Looking to order from your site for the first time. Well, you better be quick, because there's a BF20 promo code that gets you 20% off. Even 20% off these bucket hats. And they're good. They're lovely quality. Blue and pink. I like the pink one. It's out there. what was the other comment? Yeah, the weed smoke at turn 12. Esteban's manager said Esteban said to his manager, yeah, we can't afford to spend too long until turn 12. If we get drug tested afterwards, will that be in our system? And 2 other drivers also mentioned it. It's prevalent all along that strip. Gosh, lots of comments. And could you please hit the like button if you haven't already done so? Do I get homesick? Well, I'm very keen to get home now. Although I was just saying to Jace, we've had 10 days in Vegas. We've got 7 nights here and then 7 nights at the hotel in Abu Dhabi. So they're long stays, which is good. It's better than 5 nights and then 3 nights and then 2 nights and whatever. But yes, I'm very keen to cook my own meals, see my other son and his girlfriend, see my dog, who's not going too well, but he is 15 or 16. Very pampered, black poodle. Who's the best driver to deal with? Who's the most challenging? Lewis is the hardest to photograph because he's not often out in the open. And he's often got security around him. The easiest? Well, the reserve drivers are the easiest because they don't have much to do. They've got time to stand and chat. So someone like Valtteri is very easy to talk to and photograph. Mick Doohan I'm friends with, so yeah. But they're all pretty good guys. There's no one's rude, no one's obnoxious. It's just that they're all busy. They've all got to be somewhere and do something. And there's 100 photographers. You don't expect, oh no, it's probably more. You don't expect them to be smiling at every single camera they see. Can't wait for the race weekend. Well, you have to. You don't have a say in it. You just have to wait. Quad lock cases. Yeah, mine. I don't have it. Oh, it's on the back of this camera right now. And I have an Oscar Piastri case on mine. Not because I'm a fan of Oscars. They sponsor Oscar. And I thought, well, I must have some sort of F1 paraphernalia visible to people. But yeah, and they've got a Black Friday special on at the moment too. I think it's still on. I promoted it in my last video at the track. Those cases are amazing. And the thing that, and this is not a plug, I'm not getting paid for this. They have this drink bottle that on the top, you can flip up the top and then put your phone on it. And you can use it as a stand to watch your hours of TikToks and like other stuff that you watch on your phone. I've never seen that before. It's a clever idea. Lewis is camera shy. I've seen it many times. Yeah, look, he's busy. And he's very careful with his image. Brady, what is the best, worst experience you've had with a driver? No worst. Best? Oh, that's a hard question. Oh, okay, well, it may not be the best, but the most recent was last race when my wife said, I want that Mercedes sweater that Valtteri was wearing. Can you see if you can find out where I can get one? So I went and had a chat with a couple of the Mercedes people. I'm going to move spots here. And then I saw Valtteri on Sunday race day. I said, Valtteri, that sweater you got on there, because he was wearing it, is that available? Is that for sale? My wife wants one. No, she can have this one. Really? Yeah. So he went around the corner, whipped it off, gave it to me. I was very happy to get that. Well, Tonya was even happier because I can tell you, Valtteri is he's quite small, and I put that sweater on for a video. It was very tight on me, but loosely comfortable on Tonya. And but that's Valtteri. He's such a tremendous fella, and we get on pretty well. He makes me laugh. And I caught up with him in Perth earlier this year. That's right. He came and rode his bike, and now he's got that Airbnb set up in McLaren Vale, which I used to pass every year going from Adelaide to Victor Harbour. We'd go through McLaren Vale, and I'd spend all my holidays with my grandparents in Victor Harbour. Loved it. And some of you South Australians will know that is an iconic holiday spot. Really nice. My grandparents had a house right in the heart of the town. What else have we got on here? What is the weather like? Stunning. What cologne does Valtteri wear? I did actually smell that jumper, but there was nothing obvious. It wasn't reeking of Calvin Klein scent. another Qatar Airways plane going over. And you can see down here, can you see the shadow? That's the shadow there of this tower of the building. And there's another one out over the water, which is not quite so visible. In fact, I did a beautiful a video shot of me landing, maybe at this place, or at the last one, I can't remember. It'll be on a video. And the camera is just focused on the plane's shadow, and the plane shadow come together. It's quite lovely. Right. I've done the weather. The weather is nice, yes. We are expecting 26 odd degrees today, which is good. Should be nice. A bit of wind. Yeah, it's going to be good. And both sessions take place, well, no, the first session, isn't it, 4:30 today? And at 4:30 we have the sun setting. We'll get 10 minutes of the sun up, and then it will set. And the night session starts at, I don't know, is it 9 to 10 tonight? I'd love to go out on a boat here. That would be nice. It looks like gorgeous water. Other questions from you? Time now, 9 o'clock in the morning. Hot take, can Piastri surprise? Yes, he can surprise, and it would be a surprise because his form hasn't been good, and you would think, based on that, he'd be hard to back. But favourites don't always win, do they? Sometimes the long shot gets up. What do you think about James Vowles doing the 12-hour? He's done, my editor did some research on that yesterday, and I see he's done 4 others. Good on him, having some fun in life, away from the track, stopping his immersion in F1 to do something else. Good on him. Lovely fellow, James. Very eloquent speaker. Probably the best speaker of all of the team principals. You in Chicago. Not now, and not in January, I don't think. I already mentioned the Newey thing, and for those of you still yet to press that like button, could you please do so? Thank you in advance for that on this most glorious day in Doha, Qatar. Which, look, if you stay in this area, the Lusail area, and there's a number of hotels here, the Mondrian's also nice, stayed there. I think it's a really lovely spot. I don't think it's typical of Qatar, but for someone who likes nice things and colour and shiny stuff, yeah, I think you'd like this. And there's a proliferation of restaurants. And if you can get that pasta we had last night with the, was it John Dahl was the caterer? Oh my God, it was the best. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Couldn't fault it. Expectations for Cadillac next year. Well, to roll up and have a crack. I don't know. I don't think they'll do very well. I can't believe you can just step straight into a sport and be competitive. But you have to start somewhere. How about expectations on Audi? Don't know. Look, I'm not your car man. Ask me about people and what goes on behind the scenes. That's my forte with an E on the end, forte. When is your Qatar GP vlog coming out? When I get enough stories. We had hoped to have done something last night, but there was nothing happening. It was dead. I've got one piece, which is 1:40, about me and my thobes being measured up and wearing those, and I'll add to that. But at this stage, there's nothing to report. I can't make stuff up, and as Jason and I discussed, if we don't have a good story, we're not going to go and spend a whole lot of time and energy and money on producing a video that'll just toddle along. We're better off waiting until we get a 300,000 view video, which don't happen often enough. Have you ever heard anything about Horner buying Aston Martin? Yeah, I've read what you've read. I've not heard anything in the paddock about it. Hello from Dallas, late night here. Jack. Oh yeah, Jace, are you in there? My video editor wants a photo of me doing this live stream. I'll see if he's come back. You enjoy that view. Oh, let me swing this around here. It's a prettier view there. And I'll go and see if my son is in the room and he can come out and do it. Jace? Jace? He's not there. He is not there. But we can mock it up later anyway. People won't know that that didn't take place when I was doing the live stream. Back here. What was that message my son just sent? Wasn't it? I'm not with him at the moment. There we go. It's very hard to read your comments when I've got sun on my face because the screen is not as bright as the sun. What floor am I on? One of the upper floors. And there's a lot of workers here from Bangladesh, India. Yeah, they're probably the two main ones. Not too many Filipinos here. A lot of Filipinos in Dubai. We had to go through quite a rigmarole with our equipment forms to go into both this country and the next one. You have to put all of your details. With Abu Dhabi, you have to pay a fee. It's about 160 Aussie dollars, just so they take your form, and they never look at it when you go in, ever. They never look at your equipment. Well, they haven't in the past. I guess some people get done for it, but it's just a nice little earner for nothing for those countries. When did you first start working in F1? My first race was 2017 in Melbourne. How's it changed? There's more people in the paddock and we do more content now. We're focused on YouTube, focused on you people at the end of this feed. It is very much the way to grow the business side, and it is amazing growth. When you get it right, it's hard to get it right. And I would like to be doing a lot more. I'd like to have more people involved, but yeah, we'll just toddle along like this and hopefully it gets your attention. What do you think about good old American barbecue? I don't like it. No, I'd rather have a good steak. What watch am I wearing? This watch. It is a Sea Dweller. And I can wear this down to 1.2 kilometers. Not that I'm likely to get 1.2 kilometers below the waterline. I don't know where I'd have to be to go that deep, but still good to know. At least if I'm in a meter of water swimming, it's probably not going to get wrecked. It's got a little valve on the side here that you press. I'll never use it. How long are you staying in Qatar after the race? We fly Tuesday, which is good because we can do a video Monday morning. We can have an afternoon off, a rare treat. Travel Tuesday. Have a Wednesday off in Abu Dhabi, and then go to the track for our final 4 days, then a day off, and then one more day for the rookie test, which is fantastic because you get to see all these new drivers. Arvid Lindblad, I imagine, will be there. We should know by then that he's going to be taking a seat with Red Bull, with VCARB anyway. And see the other youngsters out there. Will we get a look at the new liveries? I don't think we will. No, we won't. Of course, they don't release them until January and February. Now, do you ever have time sightseeing? No, and I'm not a good tourist. And when I get bored, I just go and do more work. Am I going skiing? No, no skiing this year. I'm going jet skiing in the front of my house. When did you see an F1 driver behave behind the scenes in a way that changed how you thought of them? Down for a minute. Maybe it will come back. We'll lose everybody anyway. Has it come back? No, bugger it. I'll finish. So.